في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد فاستجاب لهم ربهم أني لا أضيع عمل عامل منكم من ذكر أو أنثى بعضكم من بعض فالذين هاجروا وأخرجوا من ديارهم وأوذوا في سبيلي وقاتلوا لأكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم ولأدخلنهم لأدخلنهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ثوابا من عند الله والله عنده حسن الثواب لا يغرنك تقلب الذين كفروا في البلاد متاع قليل ثم مأواهم جهنم وبئس المهاد لكن الذين اتقوا ربهم لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها نزلا من عند الله وما عند الله خير للأبرار وإن من أهل الكتاب لمن يؤمن بالله وما أنزل إليكم وما أنزل إليهم خاشعين لله لا يشترون بآيات الله ثمنا قليلا أولئك لهم أجرهم عند ربهم إن الله سريع الحساب يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون صدق الله العلي العظيم أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. Now I will request our respected speaker, Sheikh Muhammad Asnan, to come on stage and give a lecture on the personality of unique personality of Ahlul Bayt, Janabi Hazrat Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, and shed light on the role of Janabi Zainab throughout from Karbala to Sham. For Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Salawat.
Fatiha. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من همزات الشياطين وأعوذ بالله أن يحضرون إنه هو السميع العليم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفدا اللهم لعن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك اللهم لعن الإصابة التي جاحدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله اللهم لعنهم جميعا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أما بعد فقد قال سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. Please recite loud salawat. We pray to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu that in these majalis that we commemorate Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq so that we can learn from the life and the teachings of Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, and inshallah implement these teachings in our personal and collective life and become the true follower of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, particularly Bibi Fatima Zahra Salamullah Alaiha and Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, inshallah ta'ala. Recite another loud salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. In the beginning, we present our condolences on the Shahada of Sharikatul Hussain, Ummul Masaib, Lady Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, to the Imam of our time, to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and household of Ahl Bayt Alayhi Salatu Wasalam. And as I mentioned to you that from the life of Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, there are a lot of important lessons that we have to learn, and we have to understand that how this great lady in the toughest of the time took the reign of the Karwan of Imam Hussain والسلام, and how she was able to guide that Karwan to a point where in today's world we still have this message of Imam Hussain والسلام. Whatever we have right now is through the effort of Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha and Imam Zainul Abidin والسلام. So it is very important for us, the life of this great personality and learning the lessons from the life of this great personality. But before entering and learning some of the life aspect of the life of Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, just as a reminder for myself first and all of you, brothers and sisters, particularly you brothers who are young, right now we are breathing in the month and the holy month of Rajab. This is this month in a true sense. It is the spring of spirituality. These 3 months that are there, and particularly the month of Rajab and month of Sha'ban, they are actually the training period for us to prepare ourselves for the holy month of Ramadan. This month, the holy month of Ramadan, is known as Ziyafatullah, This is the great banquet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting each one of us. Rasulullah is calling us towards that ziyafa, but I have to prepare myself beforehand. You know, let's suppose that any one of you is going through a great banquet that is happening, a marriage of your close friend, your brother, something happening in your family. Beforehand, like few months ago, you start preparing for that. You start thinking about it, what you will wear in this wedding ceremony, or how you will dress yourself, what type of things that you will do. You start booking all this stuff. Why? Because you are aware that the event that is coming is so great, so important in my life. I have to prepare for this great event. Brothers and sisters, my sons and daughters, this holy month of Ramadan that is coming is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling all of us towards this great banquet, and we have to prepare ourselves for this great banquet. How I can prepare myself? The month of Rajab and Sha'ban are the preparing ground for us, where I can prepare myself for that month, the month of Ramadan. And today, like, we are around 40 nights away from the holy month. You know that in the riwayat of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, in the narrations of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, it is mentioned that if you control your thoughts, what you see, what you say, what you think, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the 40 nights, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the hikmah, the wisdom. Through wisdom, where things are not, the ilm and the knowledge is not there in the books. Al-ilmu nurun yakdhifu Allah biqalbihi man yasha. We are 40 days away from the holy month of Ramadan. Why not we start from this day? We can think about it. We can see like how I can improve my day and night, how I can improve my thoughts, my actions, my behavior. I control what I see, I control what I say, and I have to think about it beforehand. This is all about the preparation that we have to do. And you know this famous riwayah that Agha Jawadi Malaki Tabrizi has mentioned in this book of Al-Muraqibat, where he said that there is an angel from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in each and every night of the month of Rajab. He called on behalf of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, all of us. He's calling us. He's saying that Tuba lil-dhakirin, Tuba lil-ta'in. Blessed are those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Blessed are those who obey Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. And after that, he quoted from the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where Allah said that, Ana jalisu man jalasani, Ana muti'u man ata'ani. I sit with the one who sit with me. Who is saying that? Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, our Creator, our Lord, our Rabb. He is saying to us, O my abd, O my slave, you are a slave. But on the other hand, our Master is saying to us that if you sit with me, if you spend time in my dhikr, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. If you remember me, I will remember you. And after that, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu says, أَنَا مُطِيعُ مَنْ أَطَاعَنِي. I become obedient. I start following your instruction. If you follow me, how great. Like suppose that if somebody is there in your control, who have all the powers, this Lord is saying to us that if you start obeying me, I will start obeying you. Whatever you tell me, I will perform for you. Now what do we want as an abd more than that? If somebody is so powerful, so authoritative, who have every control in his hand, he is telling us, O my abd, O my slave, O my creation, if you follow me, I will become your follower. I will say, yes sir, to you. Whatever you ask me, I will do it. Brothers and sisters, now this is the time which the holy month of Rajab and Sha'ban, it is a spring. spring of spirituality. I have to prepare my ground and my heart for the preparation so that inshallah we can prepare ourselves when the true blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showered upon this physical realm in the month of Ramadan, we are able to get maximum from this. But these days and nights are very important for us. Don't waste these days and nights. As I mentioned to you that we have to train ourselves. In this physical world that we are living in, we are involved in so many things that sometimes we completely forget about who we are, where we are from, why we are created, what is the purpose of our life. This month of Rajab and Sha'ban and the holy month of Ramadan are actually the reminder for each one of us that who we are, where we are heading to, what we have to do in this world, what we have to achieve in this world, what potential that I have in this physical realm. And the life of Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha and the night that belongs to her, this is an important opportunity for us so that inshallah we can see that in the most difficult time, this lady, according to some of the narration, in the nights of 11th of Muharram, on the night of 11th of Muharram, and after that too, Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha never missed her namaz-e-shab. Like what type of personalities that we are commemorating and we are saying that they are our role model. Role model means that we have to start following their way of life. I have to start learning from their lifestyle and start becoming like them so that I can say, and when the people see towards me, they can understand that who am I. They can differentiate between me and all the other people who are living in London. They can understand that these people are different from other people. They can differentiate between you and other people. Otherwise, if we become like the people who are living in this physical realm, who have completely disconnect themselves from divine revelation, and they start thinking that after Renaissance, this physical world have thought that, this Western civilization have thought that we do not need this metaphysical connection. Without that, our life is completely perfect, and we are living our life. I have to decide myself that if I am claiming that I am the follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, I believe in the revelation of Quran and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, I have to find out that what about my lifestyle? Am I following the teachings practically, or it is just a claim that I am saying? It is a talk or a walk? Am I just saying these things, or I am practically following these instructions and the teachings and the guidance of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam? And that is the most important thing that we have to remind ourselves again and again. And sometimes, you know that sometimes there are opportunities in your life as an individual. But the month of Rajab, Sha'ban and the holy month of Ramadan are the collective spring where all of us help each other, support each other, and collectively perform certain activities which help us to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not as an individual, but collectively as a community. And this is a great opportunity that you have, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah give us the tawfiq on this night, the night that belongs to Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, so that inshallah we can learn from the teachings of this great personality and inshallah implement this teaching and have this remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our life in the true sense, so that we can get strength to fight against this system that is taking us away from Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, and inshallah we can become the true follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Please recite loud salawat. Brothers and sisters, we are living in the Western civilization where one of the objections that this civilization had on Islam is the role and the status of women in Islam. And I think that having the personalities like Bibi Fatima Zahra Salamullah Alaiha, having the personalities like Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha, having the personalities like Bibi Masuma Salamullah Alaiha, this shows us in the real sense what is the status of women in Islam and how important the role and the placement of women in Islam is. I cannot go in too much detail, but as I mentioned to you that these personalities are quite important, where the infallibles and the Masumeen wasalam, the words that they have mentioned about these great personalities. Like for Bi Fatima Salamullah alaiha, Aima wasalam has mentioned this thing that our mother Fatima Salamullah alaiha is a hujjah on us, the same way that we are hujjah on the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Imam Masoom is saying that the status of Bi Fatima Salamullah alaiha is much higher than all the Aima wasalam. For Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha, Imam Zainul Abidin, an infallible, has mentioned this thing, that Anti alimatun ghayru muallima. You are a personality who knows everything without going towards university and college. This is not where you get your knowledge. Your knowledge is ilm ladunni. It is given by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu to you. This is the personality of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha. And for Bibi Masuma Salamullah alaiha, look at the riwayat of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Look at the riwayat of Masumeen alayhi salatu wasalam. It shows us the status of women in Islam, and this objection that is there by the Western civilization, we can easily answer that by showing the role and the status of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, particularly Bi Fatima, Bibi Zainab, and Bi Fatima Masuma Salamullah alaiha in the eyes of Islam and in the eyes of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. In today's world, right now, we have seen that the emotion and the attachment of the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam towards these great personalities have changed the complete map of the world based on something. Then when they attacked the shrine and the mausoleum of Bibi Zainab Salamullah, you have seen that the love of Bibi Zainab Salamullah have attracted the youth from throughout the world. They came to defend the shrine, and they show that how much attachment that they have in today's world, where they have disconnected themselves from the divine revelation. Is still the love of Bibi Zainab Salamullah is so powerful. Now again, we have to go back and see that what we can learn from the life of Bibi Zainab Salamullah. I can give you some principles that we can learn, and inshallah giving some examples from the life of this great personalities, inshallah ta'ala. Please recite loud salawat. Allah. One of the lessons that brothers and sisters, especially my sons and daughters, is we have to learn from the life of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha that never be hopeless in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How difficult the situation is. Whatever you have to go through in your personal life, in your collective life, whatever the society is saying to you, they are saying you have to go through troubles and hardships, you lose your job, you lose everything in your life, materialistic, you are going through the troubles and hardships. Be hopeful in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never become hopeless in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the greatest lesson that Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha has told us. And not only he said these things, but he implement these teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam in her life, and shows us that if you have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you have belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a silver lining into whatever the darkness you are going through. Look at when Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha was standing in front of whom? In front of Yazid and Ibn Ziyad, who were the tyrant of their time. And they brought the caravan of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, the daughters of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, the sister of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, in what condition? Like prisoners in front of Yazid, who was sitting on the pulpit, and in the form of, he's sitting like a king in front of these prisoners who brought in front of this tyrant. And he was sitting and looking at them that, okay, now I am the one who is victorious. I am the one Ibn Ziyad has mentioned this in front of Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha. وَتُعِذُّ مَن تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَن تَشَاءُ نَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ. He was using the Quranic ayat against Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha, who was from the progeny of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who was from a family on her home. The Quran was revealed in front of Bibi Zainab salam alayhi, who is using that. But now think about a lady who is brought in front of a tyrant in the form of a prisoner. Okay? Her whole family, her wali, her imam was martyred in the plain of Karbala. Not only martyred, but the way that they performed this act of Nauzubillah, killing of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, they thought that, okay, they have removed the teachings of Quran, Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. It is just in history now. Nobody will remember the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. In front of that tyrant, the words of Bibi Zainab salamullah shows us that how much trust she had in the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She said in front of this tyrant, Ya Yazid, kit kaidak, was'a sa'yak. Whatever plot you want to perform against us, do it. Whatever effort you want to plan against the teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, do it. But wallahi, she is saying that, okay, swear to Allah Jalla Jalla, wallahi. That again, I am saying that this shows us that how much trust Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Despite all this dissection, despite all this thing that you are seeing, she has seen in the plain of Karbala, she has seen, فَوَاللَّهِ لَا تَمْحُوا ذِكْرَنَا. O Yazid, despite all this, what you have did, you can never remove our remembrance and our thoughts and our dhikr from the hearts and the minds of the people. It can never happen. وَلَا تُمِيتَ وَحْيَنَا. And as far as the wahi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is concerned, as far as the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is concerned, you can never destroy that from the mind and the hearts of the people. You thought that you have trembled the body of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam under the feet of the horses, but believe in me, Bibi Zainab salamullah is telling them that the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam can never vanish from the mind and the heart of the people, because this name is attached with the Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. And when you are attaching yourself with something which will never die, kullu shayin halikun illa wajha. Other than the dhikr and the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything will be destroyed. So if you want to become infinite, if you want to become everlasting, the only one way that we have is we have to connect ourselves to this infinite ocean that is there. And Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha have this belief that my wali, my imam, my brother Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, because he was connected to the dhikr and the name of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, now his name is for everlasting. Now his name is infinite. No one can destroy that. And this is what we have to learn from the teachings of Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha, that whatever difficulty you have to face in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fi sabilillah, you should never become hopeless in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have dua from Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. Is there a salawat? In one of the duas, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam has said this thing: Ya man idha tadayaqat al-umur fatah lana baban lam tadhhabu ilayhi al-awham. O Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, you are the one, when things become, the doors are closed for me, there is no way out. I feel myself in completely confiscated in a place where there is no way out, there is no door, there is no window. I think that I cannot come out from this situation that I am in right now. When this is the case, You open the door from a place lam tudayif ilayhi al-awham, where the thought of a human being can never reach there. You can never think about this option in your life. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. If you have the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you have the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is Allah who will bring an exit door for you. We think that in physical realm, these are the two exit doors, for example, and from this room. We don't know about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can create an option for us. In this situation that I am in, I think that there is no way out. But Allah Jalla Jalaluhu is there. I have to believe in His mercy. I have to trust in His mercy. And if I do that, then we will see that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the doors which I never thought of. Not only me, but Imam ﷺ in his dua is saying that, okay, the human being can never think about these options in their life. If they truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can open these doors for them. This is the reality, brothers and sisters. We are not talking about fiction. We are talking about, it is not the fairy tales that are there. It is Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam has lived this life. They have shown to us that whatever difficult situation that you have to go through, if you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then He will open the doors for you and He will take you out from these situations that you are in. Number 2, a second lesson that we can learn from the life of these great personalities, brothers and sisters, is start looking at the world as the abd and the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Change the glasses with which we are looking at the world. See that when you start wearing a specific glass and this glass color is different, suppose that if I start wearing a glass which maybe is a brown color or the black color, the things that I start seeing, everything have a black shade. If I'm wearing a different glass color, I can start looking at things which is completely different shades are there. What Bibi Salamullah has mentioned to us, and he act upon this in her life, is this thing. Okay, when you are looking at the world, look it from the lens of the ubudiyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Become the abd and then start looking at the thing. The father of Bibi Zainab Salamullah has mentioned this in his dua. Amir Mu'min Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Recite a salat, please. He said that kafali fakhran an akuna laka abda. The only medal that I have, the only proud that I have is I am your abd. I am your servant. This is the only medal that I have. I am proud of it. The only proud that I have and I can present to the world is this thing, that I am your abd. I am your servant. I am your slave of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, and you are my Rabb. You are my Lord. This is the only medal that I have. This is the only claim that I have. I have nothing more than that. When we call Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the attributes that we call about him, in the tashahhud we say, Ashhadu annaka Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. This is the greatest proud that we should have, that we are the abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bibi Zainab Salamullah has implemented this teaching of her father in her life. You know that when you see all the destruction, all that happened to the family of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, and this tyrant Ibn Ziyad has mentioned, وَتُعِذُّ مَن تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَن تَشَاءُ. What Bibi Salamullah has mentioned in reply, she said, وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ جَمِيعًا. All the izzah, all the honor belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walil Rasul, walil mu'mineen. The izzah, the honor is for the mu'mineen, for the believers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then she replied, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. We asked Bibi Salamullah alayha that, okay, there was only dissection, there was only blood, there was only thirst. What you were seeing? Bibi Salamullah alayha may tell us that, okay, when you see that this calamity and hardships and difficulties that we Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam has to go through coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a test, then we welcome it. We are ready for it. And not only we welcome it, we see the beauty in it. This is what takes us towards the perfection. This route is the route through which we can reach the perfection. And if this is the case, then I welcome this. I am ready for this challenge. This is a challenge in front of us. If I have to go through the difficulties and hardships, brothers and sisters, as I mentioned to you, that I have to see in my life, any trouble and hardship, difficulties and calamities that is coming in my life, I have to think in that way. That, okay, if it is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have to train myself in a way that, okay, this is the test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for me, and I have to accept this challenge and be ready for it. See how Bibi Salamullah has mentioned to us. One other lesson that we can learn from the life of Bibi Zainab Salamullah, that we have the forbearance and sabr in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allama Dawatabai Izwanullah ta'ala alayhi, when he was explaining Surah Asr, وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. He mentioned that this sabr, the forbearance that is there, the steadfastness that is here, you have to be steadfast. Sabr is not sometimes the way that is thought, that the thoughts that are there in our mind, okay, you are just not complaining. No, sabr is the steadfastness. Sabr, that the path that you have selected in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, despite all these difficulties and hardships, you should be steadfast in that. And Bibi Zainab Salamullah has mentioned that despite whatever happening to you, whatever difficulties that you are facing in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will never back out from it. This is sabr. This is steadfastness. That when you are on the path of haqq and the truth, there will be difficulties, there will be hardships. People will not allow you to go against their desires and their lust. They have their own plan, they have their own agenda that is there. And if you go against that, they will not be silent. You have to face the difficulties. You have to face the hardships. Here you have to show that how sabir you are. And Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha, when we call her Ummul Masa'ib, the most difficult time that came in the life of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam is in Karbala, when all these difficulties that they have to go through. And at that time, Imam Masoom alayhi salatu wasalam, for a time being, he wasn't able to lead the caravan at the time and the ummah at the time. For the time being, Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam has given the reign of this caravan in the hand of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha. And she become the leader of this caravan, who have led in a way that shows us the true sabr and the patience and the forbearance that is necessary in the most difficult time. You know that right now, we as an individual and the Islamic Ummah is going through a lot of difficult times that are there. In all of that, the sabr and the forbearance is the most important. This is the critical thing that we should have. Otherwise, if we surrender in front of the tyrants of our time, then in that case, we cannot call ourselves as the true follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is the third lesson that we can learn from the life of Bibi Zainab Salamullah. Just one last thing and one last lesson that we can learn. That don't accept the framework that is sent and plotted by the enemies of Islam. Sometimes they plan for us. They set the ground for us. They set the rules for us. And they ask us to start thinking like them. Bibi Zainab Salamullah told us that be careful that whenever enemy is setting something for you, don't accept that framework from the enemy of Islam. Accept only the framework that is set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you know that when Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam brought in front of Yazid and Ibn Ziyad, la'ana Allahumma, when these people were brought in front of them, the statement of Bibi Zainab Salamullah is quite interesting. She said like this, أَذَنَنْتَ يَا Yazid. Yazid, you start thinking like this. It means that Bibi Salamullah is challenging his thought. He's saying that you are thinking it, but this is not the reality. This is not the reality. You think that we are asir, we are prisoners, and you are free, but this is not the reality. That's why Bibi Salamullah has mentioned afterwards, فَأَصْبَحْنَا نُسَاقُ كَمَا تُسَاقُ الْأُسَارَ. You brought us like the bringing of the prisoners. She didn't accept that I am prisoner right now. What she said that, you brought us like you bring the prisoners. But I am the free woman. I know that I am free. You are the one who is prisoner actually. You are the one who is prisoner of your desires and your lust. I am a free woman. So it means that Yazid or Ibn Ziyad, they want to impose this on Bibi Zainab salamullah alaiha and the caravan of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam that, Nauzubillah, you are the prisoners. Bibi Salamullah is not ready to accept that. Bibi Salamullah is not accepting what the enemy is trying to impose on her. She is telling them that no, I am not prisoner. I am, despite the fact that I am in chain, my hands are in chain, but I am truly free. Apparently your hands are not in chain, but truly you are the one who is prisoner of your lust and desire. And this is the lesson that Bibi Salamullah is telling us. That if we are the true follower of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha, enemy is trying to impose his will on us, on the mind and the heart of the people of the world. We as the true follower of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha, we have to understand it. That if the destruction is happening, if 50,000 kids and innocent people are martyred somewhere, it does not mean that it is a loss. The true victory and true loss is the victory and the loss in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not in the eyes of the people of this physical realm. They are not who will decide that who is victorious and who is defeated. It is Allah Jalla Jalaluhu who will decide that who is victorious and who is defeated. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this night, the night that belongs to the daughter of Fatima Zahra, Thani Zahra, Masaib, Sharikatul Hussain, Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha, that the role model that she has set for us is quite high. And the claim that we have that we are the follower of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha is much above from my... if I think like this, that I am claiming that I am the follower of Bibi Zainab Salamullah, it is too difficult claim that I am making. It's too heavy burden on my shoulder that I am saying right now. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a tawfiq, that inshallah each one of us can truly become the true follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, and particularly Bibi Zainab salamullah alaiha. Please recite a lot of salawat. Allahumma salli ala. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifina'ik. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together, on behalf of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha, on behalf of the family of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, on behalf of all those who have sacrificed their life to defend the shrine of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alaiha, all together, inshallah, say salam to Imam Hussain. Assalamu ala al-Hussain wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussain wa ala awlad al-Hussain وعلى أصحاب الحسين. It is mentioned in the narration in the Maqatil that on 9th of Muharram, Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam was sitting in his camp. Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayha was sitting with Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. She was taking care of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam. At one point, Imam Zainul Abidin is a narrator of this riwayah. He said that I heard Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam saying these words. What he was saying? He was saying that, Ya Tahrim, uffil laka min khalil. Oh, the world, how bad you are as a friend. Those who trust you, those who believe in you, you are not a good friend. You kill a lot of people who live in you. You betray a lot of people who are living inside you, who trust in you. Imam Zainul Abidin said that as soon as I heard these words of Imam Hussain, I thought, I understand that Imam is trying to convey this message to all of us. That very soon I won't be here in this physical realm. Imam Zainul Abidin said that I wish that Bibi Zainab Salamullahi had never heard this statement of Imam Hussain. But Bibi have heard this statement. She ran towards the camp of Imam Hussain. And she said that, oh my brother, oh my Mawla, oh my Wali, you will leave us in this physical realm alone. Imam Wasallam said that, Zainab, our father Ali is not there. Fatima Salamullah alaiha is not there. Imam Hussain alayhi salatu, Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam has left this physical realm. I have to leave one day. Oh Zainab, Bibi said that, oh my brother, did you test your companions? Do you trust these companions? I have seen beforehand the companions of Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam ran away from him. Imam Hussain said that, no my sister, I have tested these companions. Nafi ibn Hilal said that, I heard this voice of Bibi Zainab. I ran towards the camp of companions of Imam Hussain and I said, oh Habib ibn Mazahir, oh Muslim ibn Awzaja, the daughter of Fatima Salamullah alayha, does not have trust in our religion. As soon as the companions heard this thing, they came out from their camp. They took out their swords. They cordoned off the camp of the family of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. And they said, oh Bibi Zainab, oh the daughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if you say right now, we will remove our head from our body. As soon as Bibi Zainab heard these voices of companion, she said that, may Allah bless you, the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on you. I will say to the companions of Imam Hussain, on 10th of Muharram, after the Shahada of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, the army of Yazid is attacking the camps of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. Oh Muslim ibn Saja, oh Habib ibn Mazahir, where are you? The daughter of Fatima is calling. There is no one to support the progeny of Rasulullah. There is no one to defend the house of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. My lady came out from the camp. She went towards the plain of Karbala. She saw the body of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. She took this body in her hand and she said to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, Allahumma taqabbal minna hadha al-qurban. Oh Allah, accept this Qurbani from Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Fatima Hussain.
حسين يا 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 حسين حسين يا 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 حسين دلم گرفته امشب جانم رسیده بر لب دلم گرفته امشب جانم رسیده بر لب این دل غم گرفته افتاده یاد زینب افتاده یاد زینب روحی فداک زینب روحی فداک زینب روحی فداک زینب روحی فداک روحی فداک زینب روحی فداک زینب روحی فداک زینب روحی فداک ای مادر مصائب هردم به شور و شینم ای مادر مصائب هردم به شور و شینم با اشک و ناه و آه یاد تو و حسینم با اشک و ناله و آه یاد تو و حسینم روحی فداک زینب 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 روحی فداک بمیرم از برایت بمیرم از برایت در کربلا چه دیدی بمیرم از برایت در کربلا چه دیدی تو در وداع آخر رنج و محن کشیدی تو در وداع آخر رنج و محن کشیدی روحی فداک زینب روحی فداک روحی فداک زینب 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 غلطان بخون شناور دیدی تو اکبرش را غلطان بخون شناور دیدی تو اکبرش را در دست شه بریده خنجر اصغرش را در دست شه بریده خنجر اصغرش را روحی فداک زینب 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 که زینب بودی ز روز اول، تمام هست عباس بودی ز روز اول، تمام هست عباس. دیدی کنار القم برید دست عباس، دیدی کنار القم برید دست عباس. روحی فداک زینب، روحی فداک، روحی فداک زینب، روحی فداک زینب، روحی فداک زینب، روحی فداک زینب، زینب روحی فداک زینب. به لبهای تشنه‌ات سلام الله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت یا ابا. به لبهای تشنه‌ات سلام الله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله. دل ما مانده به پیمانت، فدای آن لب عطشانت. به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت. MashaAllah everyone. بنفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، بنفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، بنفسی انت. تو زیبایی چون جمال پیغمبر، شگفتی مانند پدرت حیدر. تو زیبایی چون جمال پیغمبر، شگفتی مانند پدرت حیدر. غریبی چون مادرت زهرا، کریمی چون مجتبی با ما. به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت لا، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت الله. به لبهای تشنه‌ات سلام الله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله. به لبهای تشنه‌ات سلام الله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله. دل ما مانده به پیمانت، فدای آن لب عطشانت. به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت الله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت الله. تو را داریم ای تو بهترین مولا، برای ما کل یوم عاشورا. تو را داریم ای تو بهترین مولا، برای ما کل یوم عاشورا. جوابیم حلم معینت را، فدای غربت تو مولا. به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت الله. به لبهای تشنه‌ات سلام الله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله. دل ما مانده به پیمانت، فدای آن لب عطشانت. به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت الله، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت، به نفسی انت یا ابا عبدالله، به نفسی انت الله. حسین 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 یا حیدر 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 یا زهرا 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 یا زینب 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 زینب یا زینب یا زینب یا زینب یا زینب یا عباس یا عباس یا عباس عباس یا عباس یا عباس یا عباس عباس یا عباس عباس یا عباس عباس یا حجت ابن الحسن عجل على ظهورك يا حجت ابن الحسن ظهورك يا حجت ابن الحسن عجل على ظهورك ابن الحسن عجل على ظهورك يا حجة ابن الحسن عجل على ظهورك يا حجة ابن الحسن ظهورك يا حجة ابن الحسن عجل على ظهورك يا حجة ابن الحسن عجل على ظهورك ای پیام آور خون شهدا یا زینب با پیامت همه جا کرب و بلا یا زینب ای نماز شب تو برده دل از چار امام ای همه فاطمه هنگام دعا یا زینب یا زینب یا زینب ای همه فاطمه هنگام دعا یا زینب خطبه تو سخن خون خدا بر سر نی یک پیام است ولی با دو صدا یا زینب صلی الله علیک یا ابا عبدالله یا مظلوم یا حسین محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم السلام علیک یا ابا عبدالله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن وعلى أولاد وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل وليا وحافظا وقائدا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طمعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجهم 10 times please. يا الله 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 يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مغلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك واكفنا يا قاضي الحاجات ويا كافي المهمات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك على كل شيء قدير. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة والإخلاص مع الصلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
then this is the